Welcome to episode 79 of the Two Rash Challenges podcast. I'm Dave Lewis. That's Eric Neal over there. What's up, brother? There at St. James's Park again.
Hey, you know what? It's my spiritual homeland. I gotta get my virtual St. James's in.
Next time you gotta do the pub, man. You gotta walk over across the street and go to a pub.
The Strawberry.
All right, man. It is no Premier League football. It's very strange, very odd.
I know.
So, big news for Liverpool. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I mean, I don't even know if you read it. It's so big. I'm sure you saw it. They re-signed the throw-in coach.
Oh.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
So the guy, remember Klopp hired this throw-in coach, and I gotta be honest, I don't know if it helped. He seems to be instrumental, but the guy tweeted out, the guy, I don't even know what the guy's name is, the coach. He said he had other offers.
Oh.
He had.
Oh.
Who else has a throwing coach? And who's fighting for them?
I got nothing.
You're doing it all wrong. All right, so that was huge news.
Don't lift the foot up.
Yeah, don't lift the foot up. They do, I see their feet on the line. I see illegal throws all over. It's strange.
It's the equivalent of traveling in the NBA.
Yeah.
The guy would take like 7 steps and go dunk on somebody, and they're like, oh, it's good.
Hey, back in the day, Allen Iverson, he used to palm the ball every time. Yeah. I was like, that's illegal. But
they don't call that kind of stuff.
No. So, big signing for Liverpool. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Kostas Samakas.
Yeah.
Samakas. I've decided I'm horrible at names. I just suck at names. But never heard of him, I have to admit. He's from Olympiacos. Liverpool has been watching him for like 3 years. Really like him. He's 24 years old. He plays left back. He'll give Robertson some backup. Okay. I mean, it's depth. It's more depth, man.
I'm going to be watching him too, sitting on the bench.
Yeah, but we have backup. He can play like FA Cup games, a Premier League game every once in a while.
You have that already. It's called James Milner.
I love Milner. But these are the kind of signings Liverpool are doing. Like, I hope, again, it's that Moneyball signing that they do. Like, they're only spending like $12 million on this guy. But he's only 24. They say he's a decent prospect. He played in the Europa League. I think he's played in the Champions League. So, hey, we're getting 12. These are Newcastle signings, 12 million.
Yeah.
We stole them from you.
What are you guys doing, man? I swear.
No.
This is going to come back and bite you. This is going to come back and bite you.
Oh, stop it. Nothing new on Thiago. Although, what's his name? What's the Rio Ferdinand said it would be a great signing for Liverpool, but he's a Manchester guy, so I'm not going to listen to him. But nothing new on Thiago. Yeah, nothing new on Thiago. But there's still rumors about Sancho coming to Liverpool, which makes no sense whatsoever. I don't get it. It's not going to happen. They didn't spend 50 on Werner. Why did they spend 100 and whatever on Sancho? But it's weird. The rumors are still there. Like, he's still at Dortmund. And he's still training with them. Maybe he's not even going to go to anywhere. I don't know.
No, I heard he just signed a new deal, like an extension at Dortmund. So it was funny because their director, whoever came out and said he's 100% staying. That's it. It's over.
Which means he's going.
Someone put a tweet out 3 years ago that said Dembele is 100% staying. He's not going anywhere, and he went to Barca. So it's one of those where he's got a track record of talking shit.
Don't you think Dortmund is – look, I don't know how many times Dortmund's going to win the Champions League. They're always going to be in the top 4 in the Bundesliga. They're always going to be competitive. They might sneak in and win a trophy every once in a while, right, in Germany. But they are a machine. They just churn out players and money. You know what I mean? These transfers are insane. They get so much money for these guys. I don't know. I love Dortmund.
I think the Sancho to Liverpool is just to put the screws to United for like an extra 10 mil.
I mean, he's going to United, right? Don't you think?
I think so.
I mean, he's not going to Chelsea. Chelsea's got to stop with that. Like, get some defenders. I think it's a perfect fit, Manchester United. I hate to say it.
I agree.
I went back because you gave me crap on the new Liverpool kit.
Oh, yeah.
With teal. It's got a little teal collar. It's got a little teal trim around here. I have to admit, I was like, let me go take a look because, of course, you gave me crap and you got in my head. And I looked at it. I was like, no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just subtle, and it's beautiful. So I can't wait. I'm going to order mine soon. So
our guy Thomas from Bryant and me, He got it in already. He got it today. And I said,
Really?
Dave's going to be jealous.
Oh, I'm getting it, man. It's on back order. I couldn't get it. Oh, I don't know where he got it. So that's it. Not much going on else with Liverpool. Let's move on to Newcastle. I don't even know what you have to report.
I don't have a lot to report, but you know who does? Our man on the streets of Newcastle, Andrew Wells.
Hello, this is Andrew Wells, live from Newcastle, and here's the weekly events from this week. Well, obviously, I'm going to follow on with what I was saying last week about this whole petition, which has now actually hit the 100k benchmark, so it looks like it's going to go into Parliament, but even if it doesn't, we've got now every MP from the North East has written in towards the Premier League offices, so and they're still not commenting, along with Boris Johnson also writing, who's our Prime Minister. Well, obviously everyone knows that. But yet, as I say, the Premier League are still not saying a word at all. So MPs could put a legal complaint into Parliament to get it checked if needs be. And following on from this, I mean, there's even more news. And for once, fans are actually on site with Mike Ashley about this, which is something you never probably thought you'd hear in your life. But Ashley is preparing a legal team to go up against the Premier League due to, I think it's a blockage of trade or something. I don't fully know the ins and outs of it, but apparently the Premier League are breaking an international law, so he's getting the legal team out. And also the fans, I've got to give them a huge credit, not only for hitting the 100k mark along with other fans, but also lots of teams now, fans from all different clubs, are starting to spam the Premier League partners such as Barclays, Tag Heuer, Coca-Cola, etc., etc. And a lot of people have been blocked by these, and they're sending so much negative stuff over to the Premier League saying, sort this out, it's not good for us, which basically means the Premier League's under a lot of pressure, which is what we're aiming for. Well, and honestly, though, that's all I can report from that kind of news. So I'll move on to some little transfer rumours that have been popping up this week. And one of them was from Magpie Media. They've put a report out saying that we're actually close to signing Cordoba from Cologne in the Bundesliga, who for about £12 million, which isn't a bad return when he had 13 goals and 2 assists from 29 games last season. So he looks like a decent striker. So, and then you've also got apparently us looking at Bertrand Traore, who, if you didn't know, was the guy who actually was the reason Chelsea got their transfer ban. And he would probably cost about £9 million. And then the Northern Echo, which is a really local paper, has came out and said the interest is stepping up on Joshua King and Harry Wilson. No, Callum Wilson, sorry, not Harry Wilson. And then there's also one final report that's been leaking out today, and that is it from multiple sources, and that is that Jeff Hendrick is set to sign for Newcastle on a free. But in all truth, that's all I can report this week, and as always, more and more evidence is leaking out. So this may go on for quite a while, this legal proceedings, but as soon as I keep getting any info, I'll keep passing it on. So until then, I'll see you all later.
All right, as always, I want to thank Andrew for that report. It's good to get the feeling of what's happening there in the tune. Like Andrew said, the saga continues for the Saudi takeover. Mike Ashley's got the lawyers like saddled up now, ready to head into the high court or whatever they call it over there. And
yeah,
he's getting ready to sue the pants off the Premier League. So, you know, really it comes down to interfering with commerce. And the crazy thing about it, and we've talked about this at length, I won't go, spend too much time on it, but the Premier League didn't deny the takeover. They just didn't say anything for 17 weeks. So the whole idea of them wanting to just sit there and hope it all goes away is not happening. Like Andrew said, we hit 100,000 in the petition, the change.org petition, which means the government has to take it up. And all we want is a statement from the Premier League that would say, this is why we weren't able to approve it. Okay? And they're not going to give that statement because there's no legal ground for them to deny it. They should have approved it. we've said it a million times. Every person that has enough money to own a Premier League team has done some real shady stuff in their day, and this is going to be no different.
Does it actually have anything to stand on? I mean, is there really a chance that he could?
What it really comes down to is that you've got the other teams, the Liverpools, the Man Cities, the other teams that don't want the competition. They don't want another rich team in there because it gives them the possibility of not making the Champions League and taking their players and all these other things. So, no, I'm telling you, Grasterisk FC, Liverpool, was one of the teams that wrote in and said, we don't
worried
want
about you guys catching us. I mean, that's not what we're worried about, you know.
Okay, what is it then that you're worried about?
About cheaters coming into the Premier League like City. You know, we don't want more of that stuff to happen. We don't want more of that to happen. You're going to get sanctioned.
They wouldn't need to cheat. They wouldn't need to cheat. They would just pay for it. They have the money. So anyway, there's MPs involved, with like the equivalent or what are kind of like governors or senators, I guess, from the region. Famous people have gotten involved, but
how long is this going to take in the courts? I mean, how long? Well, I mean,
that's if Ashley sues. What it sounds like is happening is that the Saudis pulled out to piss off the supporters enough to raise enough hell that it would force the Premier League to making a statement one way or the other. Now, if the Premier League at all costs does not want to make a statement, because if they do, then that gives them something to sue them on, right? So. What will happen, though, is the government's going to come after them. There was a Saudi delegation that was visiting Boris Johnson at 10 Downing Street today. Wow. They do billions and billions of dollars of weapons sales and business with the Saudis every year. I have a feeling, I mean, this is just a guess, that in the meeting it probably came up talking about the takeover, and really they would just tell Boris Johnson, go over and tell them to push the button. Yeah. And so I think the Premier League is just really hoping this all will go away, and it's not going to go away. But you know what?
But nothing's going to get resolved before your season starts. So play on the field's not going to change.
No, but, and you know what? I'm not really all that concerned with it. If we could get like Wellesley said, we're linked with the striker Cordoba from Germany. He's been played in the Bundesliga, had like 13 goals. It's not very much money.
Jolinton.
No. Jolinton didn't have very many goals, not even in the Bundesliga. But
I think he had like 8.
If we can get this guy, he seems like a real, actual striker. What
about the Bournemouth guy?
We're linked with Hendricks. Well, I mean, we're talking about, but we'll never show out the money it's going to take. Hendricks from Burnley, I think, is on a free. Good, just regular squad player. Look, if we get a couple squad players and a striker, we'll be in 13th place again. And then you know what? That gives it time for the lawsuits and all this stuff to play itself out. So I don't know. You know what? It's you don't spend as much time on Twitter as I do, but it's just all day long with update and post and this person saying this and it's back on, it's back off. And now they're at 10 Downing Street. And
forget all that. I mean, that's going to take a while. What do you think? The Premier League's going to look at those 100,000 signatures and some other stuff?
Well, no, I mean, apparently the government, at 100,000, it triggers them having to look into it and do something about it. So
look into what, though? It's a private – these are – how does the government get involved with this? How does that work? They
can say, we want you to make a statement. Like, you don't have to approve it. They're not going to get involved like you have to approve this. They're going to get involved. You need to say what is going on and why you wouldn't do that. And so I mean, at the end of the day, people will move on if they come out and say it was due to piracy. It was due to piracy. Qatar is one of the countries that paid a whole bunch of money for these rights. But they pirated those rights. We're denying it on those grounds. You don't have to like it, and they can sue them over it. But then the fans could move on and say, "All right, we got our answer."
Look, the Premier League doesn't have to answer to anybody. They don't have. They can give any excuse they want.
No,
why they didn't approve it?
Yes, they can, but they've given no excuse. They won't.
So why don't they just make one up? I don't understand why they don't.
Because then they'll get sued. There's a owners and directors like fit and proper test, and it's written out in their bylaws what you have to do to pass that test. And if the Saudis passed it, then they really don't have a reason to deny them, and they have to do it. So the problem is, if they say anything, if they deny it and give a reason, and that reason goes against all these other people oil money from Russia with the oligarchs or whatever it is, the natural gas. I think was where he made all his money.
I'm having some natural gas now.
When it comes down to it, if their reason violates their own process that they approved other people for, then you do get your ass sued. And these
but the Premier League has lawyers, and it seems simple to just be like, okay, what do these laws say that we could say you're not fit? Okay, find those words.
Yep.
I'm sure they can find them fit for these Saudis. I'm sure they can. Apply it to them, and you're probably not going to lose the suit. You're probably going to win the suit.
So why not just come out and do it?
Because do you think you're a conspiracy theory? You think there's something? Do you think they're so pompous that they think, hey, we don't have to say anything? We wanted to wait it out, or do you think they're hiding something?
No, I guarantee they're hiding something. I think what they're hiding is there isn't any grounds for them to deny it, but the other clubs don't want the Saudis in because
you think Klopp is in London going like, don't approve it.
It doesn't happen at the coach or the player level.
I know.
This is all front office stuff. But if you're an owner, there's 4 spots for the Champions League, right? Maybe sometimes you can get 5. I forget if a team wins the Europa League, right? So say Wolves wins the Europa League, they're also in.
Oh, it's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Yes, right. So if you've got that limited number of spots and you've got about 6 or 7 teams that are spending tons of money for those spots, do you really want another group coming in that now makes it 8 teams that are going for those spots? The other clubs don't want it. And they voted and wrote in and said, hey, we don't want it. But they can't deny it because all these other shady-ass owners have also passed this test. Yeah. So you can't go, well, you let them do it.
Oh, you're such an unstable club, man. It's
what?
You're happy at 13th. I understand.
What does that have to do with us? Why are Newcastle?
Because you should have stayed in your swim lane. Ashley is a prick. He should have tried to sell. He tried to sell to the Saudis. Now, whatever you say about the Saudis, we don't know. I'm not going to condemn them. I'm just saying it makes sense that Ashley, your loved owner, would go this route. My point is, most people just sell to people I think I could sell to. Where was his due diligence? Hey, I'll settle these guys. Maybe they'll pass, maybe they won't. He must have known they might not have passed.
I don't think so.
You think he was just like, hey, if City does it, if City can do it, we can do it.
Look, there are forces at work here. And look, neither one of us know the ins and outs of the political and social.
I know British law. I know British law.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a definite prejudice against the North from people in the South. And the Premier League is run from people in the South. And if you look at it, do you think if Manchester United was approached for $3 billion from the Saudis that it would have got blocked? It wouldn't have, because they're already one of those teams that are in the group that
do you think the Premier League back in the day were cringing when City at the time was like, they'd been recently relegated. They're not a big club. They weren't a big club. When they came in, do you think the Premier League's like, whatever. It's only better that we have these Saudis with, not Saudis. I'm sorry, who's with City? Are they Saudis? I don't remember. Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so they're probably like, so what? City becomes a 10th place team, and there's new money in the Premier League. Whatever. And now they're embarrassed. They're like, they don't like how City was done.
Right.
So now they're going to make Newcastle pay?
So, no, I'm telling you, it started with Chelsea.
Yes.
And they were like, they just let the money, and that was before financial fair play. Okay. And then Abramovich spent just friggin' piles and piles and piles of cash.
All this money in oil. I'm sure it was all oil.
Natural gas.
Again, I'm having natural gas.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Russian oligarch with tons of blood in his hands, but it comes in, and they went, hold on a minute. And the other clubs had to scramble to figure out different ways to make money. The Glazers did it through selling stock in Manchester United. Liverpool brought in billionaire guys that had
I agree. It's across the board. I'm with you. Newcastle, this should have been approved.
It should have been approved. It's not being approved because it's Newcastle. If they went for Arsenal, if they went for Liverpool, if they went for Manchester United, it would have been walked through in 2 weeks. The money would have been in the bank, and there'd be new owners right now. But because it's Newcastle, they feel like they can just mug us off and be like, oh, it's the North.
Well, it's in the North. I mean, so's Manchester. I mean, it's not London. Why Newcastle, though?
Okay, but look, Manchester United are blue bloods. They're like Premier League history. They're part of.
Oh, so you're talking. Oh, you're not talking about the city. You're talking about the club.
Well, I'm talking about the club. Like so.
Yeah.
You've got the big. They call it the big six. I still say it's the big four. But when you're thinking about,
it's not Tottenham.
It's Manchester United. It's Liverpool. It's Chelsea, and it's Arsenal. Right? Like I mean, you've got
two London clubs, two northern clubs. And
those are the teams, the main teams that have the most supporters around the world, that have the most history, that have the most wins at least in the Premier League era that we're talking about. And so that's where it is. And those clubs have no interest in. They're already having to battle off with these other clubs that are up and coming. Now, they have Manchester City's come in and taken over. You've got Leicester popping their heads in. You've got Spurs, new stadium, all this. They don't want another club with unlimited funds coming in and messing things up. And because here's the thing, if they had a reason to deny it that was legal and sound, they would have come out and said, we're denying it on this reason. Have you ever heard of a deal going 17 weeks without one word from the
I never understood it.
It's impossible. It's the weirdest thing ever.
If you're not going to pass this thing, do it after 2 weeks, and let Ashley go find some other owners then.
Right. But that's the thing. They just want it to go away.
No, they really screwed you guys. They really screwed you guys. Yeah. We're in agreement there.
It's not going away. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We should make a documentary about this. If we could somehow get some rich, sugar mama, funding to go spend 6 months in England and write the documentary and film the documentary for this, I'm telling you, golden. Netflix.
I feel like you and I are not the guys to do it.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad Wellesley's doing okay. By the way, a little teaser here. I got a bone to pick with him later. Okay. Oh, yeah. Little Champions League. You got anything else on the Premier League? Let's move on to the Champions League a little bit.
So we went over the Sancho deal. May not happen. Did you see Manchester City? Are you going to get to that in the Champions League section?
Yeah.
They also signed Nathan Ake from Bournemouth,
which I thought was good, right?
I think so. I mean, really, if you look at it, he's better than the other center backs that they have. Although I heard somewhere that they're talking about Pep might put him at defensive mid, because he can.
Oh, really?
Both. Yeah, he can play both.
What do you think about Chelsea, real quick? Getting, I think it was Declan Rice. That seemed like an odd one. No. What do they need him for?
Is that a done deal?
No, they want to get him. They want to get him. Why are they messing around with that? Just get some defenders, man. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it in the Champions League talk, I'm sure. But I was all for Koulibaly before.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He had one of the worst games ever the other day.
Let's get ahead.
Any other? I haven't seen many transfers really happening. So I really want Liverpool to get Jack Grealish. I like that guy. I like him.
Yeah. Again, though,
we don't need him. We don't need him, but I want him.
Place on your team.
I don't know. All right, let's move to the Champions League. Just go over some notes here. Let's first talk about the Chelsea-Bayern Munich game for a second. Not even the game. The aggregate score is Munich 7, Chelsea 1, and Munich won 4-1 the other day.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Bayern Munich are probably favorites along with City to win this thing. But still, Chelsea's defense is horrendous. Horrendous.
Yeah, but, you can't look the 3-0 first leg when they were at full strength at home.
That says it all.
You can hold against them, but they were missing half their squad.
Oh, I get it, but you can still defend. I don't know. It was just
they're a mile apart from Bayern.
They had the least amount of points of a Champions League fourth place team since something like Everton, which was back in the early 2000s.
Could it be
not
a
good.
Down season, maybe?
What?
Could it be a down season, maybe?
F off. Okay, so look, City. Were you surprised at City Real Madrid? Were you
not really?
Me neither.
I mean, I was surprised at how it happened.
Yeah.
Rafa Varane is probably one of the top 5 or 6 center backs in the world.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if he's one of the top 5 or 6 center backs in the world only when he's playing with Sergio Ramos.
Right.
Because you think about it, you put someone like Van Dijk next to you, and all of a sudden Joe Gomez looks like he's Van Dijk. He's
Looks
one of
good,
those.
yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about it.
Matip and Gomez, no good. No good.
No, but you can take chances. You can do all sorts of things you normally wouldn't do because you know you got someone behind you that will always clean up your mess 100% of the time. Now, Ramos is a red card factory and just can't help himself. He's got that hot head.
But he's a talent. He's been a great player for so long.
Right. So, I never thought in my life I would see someone that, World Cup champion, amazing, that starts every match for Real Madrid, would just have that many shocking plays. Now, you could say it was City's pressure or whatever, but I mean, that was some schoolboy stuff that you see.
But isn't it weird? Like, the Premier League ended, La Liga ended. It just feels odd. Then they went off training, and then they play. It's a weird time. I mean, I don't know if it has anything to do with it. And we're playing August Champions League. It all feels so awkward.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess I'm giving Real Madrid a pass. By the way, Juventus, who fired Sarri, which was why did they hire him in the first place? It's like, why do you think he's going to work out? They now they have Andrea Pirlo.
I know.
He has no experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
He has like some under 23 experience at Juventus.
So let me ask you this.
Pochettino, they didn't too much money. I
had this in my notes. Okay. What is it with Sarri? Now look, when he was at Chelsea, I was Sarri out. You know what I mean? I was one of
But he won the Europa League and he got top four, right? Didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
And he got the sack. So
Juventus wins the title.
He won a trophy with Chelsea and got Champions League, got the sack, goes to Juventus, wins the league with Juve.
They do it every year.
Almost to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Yeah, but round of 16 is bad. When you go out round of 16, that's not good.
How many managers do you know that win a trophy and get sacked?
I know.
I mean, there's something about him where he's so disrespected that people just like don't rate him so much that it's like, yeah, you won something, but we didn't like how you won it. Like, I've never heard that before.
It reminds me of my love for a Volkswagen. I love VWs, and I've had like 6 of them, and they always break down. I'm like, I'll never get one again. And I'm like, I'll get another VW. Like, they're not one of our sponsors, are they?
So someone is like, you know what, sorry, I won a trophy. I'm bringing him in. Then he gets you one, and they're like, I really didn't like it.
No, that was a weird fit. It didn't work with Ronaldo. With the players they had, it didn't make sense. Look, Ronaldo is 35 years old. Can you still build your team around him? Yes?
No.
I mean, he scored a ton of goals this year, but he looked off the pitch. I don't know.
No, but at some point, that's going to come to an end.
Yeah.
Now, look, maybe next season he scores 35 again. But, I mean, how long can that go on? Is he going to be like 50 years old? And like?
What does Ronaldo do? Does he say, screw Juventus, I want one more Champions League. Let me go somewhere where I can play for 2 more years.
I think I was hearing PSG for him.
I was thinking of PSG too. He'd be good in Paris. Be fun. I don't know. Okay, the other game, Barcelona was at Napoli. I was watching that. Messi is still Messi. He's still Messi. I mean, he's younger than Ronaldo by a couple of years, but he's so much better now than Ronaldo. And that's nothing against Ronaldo. But Messi was it on that squad.
Oh.
Griezmann didn't do anything. Suarez had a penalty kick, but he didn't do anything.
No, a ton of injuries again. No, Conrad De La Fuente on the bench
He didn't make it in, did he? But that's cool. An American on the bench for a Champions League game. Pretty cool. At Barcelona.
At Barca.
Barca B, he scored a ton of goals, and they really like him. And he's legit. He's from Miami. He's from Miami. A real guy.
I wish I would have got the guy's name, but someone, podcaster, blogger guy, whatever, did this video post, and I think he just nailed it because he was basically, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but he was saying, as American supporters, we're so insecure about like our quality and our football and all that we're really, really quick when players are ambitious to like, hey, tell them slow down, try and like hold them back and tamp down the expectations. And he was like, we want people that want to go to Barcelona and say, I'm going to fight for my place at Barcelona. When he was saying when Pulisic went to Chelsea, they're just using him to get shirts and he's just going to sit on the bench. He should really go somewhere where he's going to play all the time. No, you want someone that's going to go there and force them to play. And he's like, we need to stop being so insecure about our players and start pushing people and want them to do well. Now, if they're not sure about it, you don't want to be like, hey, get out there, you can do it, and, have their career ruined. But you really do. If we're going to ever compete at the highest level, we're going to have guys that put themselves in uncomfortable situations and are willing to fight it out. Now, if De La Fuente sits there for, a couple of years and he's all of a sudden, 23, 24, and it's like the best years of my career are starting to be spent in Barca B, then maybe you do try and go to a lower level Premier League team or go to a different La Liga team and try and start or whatever. But I don't think there's anything wrong with these guys going and challenging themselves and saying, like, I'm good enough to be a person on this team. So
isn't it a strange time for U.S. soccer in that we're probably at the lowest point with the national team? We don't get into the World Cup. This the pandemic, we're not seeing the players play. It's such a weird time, yet it feels like we have the most talent we've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have so many players in Germany. We have this kid at Barcelona. We have Pulisic, who's a star. Like, we have so many players in Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams. I think we have the most talent, but we don't have the right coach. And international soccer is so hard to bring these players together and to mesh. It's a strange time. It's hard to get excited.
I feel like we'll probably limp through and qualify for 2022, and hopefully either we go crazy and just out of our minds and something good happens, or we completely implode and they sack Berhalter and bring someone good in. I need one or the other. I don't want to have it just muddle enough to keep him around. I know. Either he needs to way outperform expectations and get us to the quarterfinals or something.
What if we get 4 points in the group stage and it's enough to get us through, and then we lose in the first round?
Nah, see, that's what I don't want to happen.
That's mediocre. Yeah, that's
I want to win the group and get to the quarterfinals, win that round of 16 and get to the quarterfinals and compete in the quarterfinal, or just go out 3 losses.
We need another 2002 run. Where we get to the quarters and we almost beat Germany. Yeah, we need one of those again.
Yeah, I want it to either go so right that we can't say a word, or I want him gone. I want Berhalter gone. But 2026, the good news is we don't have to qualify, because guess what? We're hosting.
We're in.
Yeah, you don't have to get invited to your own party. It's just your party. Yeah. So, I think by then, though, all these kids who are, 17 to 21 years old, who are playing in Europe, who are getting minutes, who are getting better, they're going to be in their prime at that time. And I really think if we had the right manager, 2026, we might be on the up. We might actually make something happen.
Look, Pulisic will be 26, 27. Yeah, no, all those other guys, Altidore and all them will be gone, Bradley. Right. Because there's a chance in the next World Cup, somehow Altidore will sneak in, or a Bradley at 33 will make the roster. Things like that. I don't want to see them anymore. I'm done. I'm done.
But no, 2026, it's a clean slate.
Maybe Altidore is still playing at 40. Do you care about the Europa League, by the way?
What's that?
Such a strange tournament, man. I'm like, in college basketball, you have the NCAA championship. And then you have this second thing called the NIT, where all the other shit clubs go in and play this tournament. You get the NIT trophy. This is what it feels like. It's like, technically it's Europe. You're playing European football, but unless you win it, it's pointless. Like, if you make it to the finals or you make it to the semifinals, who cares? If you win the thing, awesome, right? You get a Champions League spot, right? Automatic, right?
Yeah, right. I watched the Europa League final last year because it was Arsenal-Chelsea.
Right. But what about Wolves? Hey, look, it might be Wolves-Manchester United. That'd be good. I'd watch that.
Yeah. But I don't really. It doesn't do anything for me.
You didn't watch any highlights
today. I was seeing tweets that were like, "Oh, that's not a penalty. That's this," and I was like, "Is there something on?" I didn't even realize something. I think it was actually Europa League.
Europa League. Yeah. All right. Anything else from Europe before we go to the MLS?
No, that's pretty much all I had, man.
All right, let's move to the MLS. The MLS. Who the hell cares?
MLS, yeah.
All right, it's a final. I remember saying, I think Don Garber, the commissioner of MLS, will hate if it's Orlando versus Portland. It's Orlando versus Portland! Yay!
We can dream it's something that annoys Garber. That makes me happy.
Look, Orlando, kind of a cool story. They suck. They've always sucked. They never made the playoffs. Did they
Right.
make it last year?
No, they have never made the playoffs.
In the history of that club, no playoff appearances. Now they're in this MLS back is cup. MLS is back cup. Hard to say.
COVID Cup.
Who do you got, Eric? Give me your scouting report on the players. Break it down for me.
All right.
What formations will they be using?
So if defensive mid Diego Chara can hold off the powerhouse that is Nani, then they've got a chance to. No, I don't know. All I know is I saw the highlights of the goals that Nani scored.
Yeah.
In the last match.
Was that Minnesota? No, who'd they play?
Worldies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute worldies. It was nuts.
Look, he's a talented player. He didn't make it at Manchester United. I mean, he played a lot at Manchester United, but he was like okay. But if he was on the Crew and 33 years old, you'd be excited.
Oh,
right?
heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a legit Champions League player.
That's the type of player we need to open a new stadium.
Yeah. No, he looks like he's having fun. He hasn't done great with Orlando up till about now, and maybe he's hitting his stride now. I love that at 33 or whatever he is, he can still do the backflips and all that. That's
Oh, yeah.
now here's a weird thing about this MLS is back thing. The Crew won 3 games, right?
Yep.
And lost none in this thing. I mean,
Yep.
They lost the game to get disqualified. I mean, to get out of the tournament. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't go against their record. So they got 9 points out of a possible 9. Other teams who advance further will have more losses than the Crew. Like some teams had 1 loss in the group stage. It's kind of silly tournament. Unless you win it, again, who cares, right? Who cares?
Who gets more GAM money?
Jam money.
Yeah. No, look, I don't really care. They're talking about the matches or the schedules are coming out and they're starting
this week.
to get ready.
Like this week, games are starting.
Some people or some teams are going to have supporters in the stands.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this,
You go?
Crew season ticket holder Dave Lewis.
Yeah.
Are you going to a match if they allow supporters?
If they allow me as a look, it's going to be empty. Let's say they let 3,000-4,000 fans in. I think it's a pretty safe place. I put my mask on, and I sit upstairs, which I usually do when I'm not with you in the Nordeca, and there's nobody around me anyway when I sit upstairs. So I think I'm pretty safe. So I would go.
Like that that's your level now for things. You're like, it seems pretty safe.
Well, what? Who am I coming in contact with? You know me. I'm not going to be with a lot of people. Probably go by myself. And you go right up to your seat. I won't get any concessions. I might do it. Have my mask on. Have the Purell. But who cares? You know what? Sitting in my living room sounds much better. Much better.
I'm not messing with it till it's safe.
And who are they picking to go to the game? You know, like you could go.
Obviously, it would be season ticket holders only.
Yeah.
And then from there, I don't know if you have a lottery, like you get to go to this match, and then next week someone else gets to go. I think they're still sorting out if they're going to allow it at all. And then after that point, then it's like, okay, what's the protocol for choosing who gets to go and who doesn't?
Look, you're outside, social distance. I don't know. You know, you're going to get drunk people who won't social distance, but I don't know. I mean, I feel personally safe if I went, but that's me.
Yeah, hey, up to you. Speaking of 33-year-olds and MLS, did you hear who Inter Miami is going to sign?
Don't tell me Silva.
No? Blaise Matuidi from Juve.
Who?
Blaise Matuidi from Juve, man. World Cup winner with France. Come on.
Really?
A lot of people think it's not really like because it's not a striker, that it's not a sexy pick or whatever. I'm for it, man. I'm here for it.
No, bring him. Fine. He's got something left in the tank, but
straight from Juve, World Cup winner, please. I would take that in a second.
Yeah. Miami sucks, by the way. They're horrible.
Well, they're about to get better. And I think they have one DP spot left, so they still have the option. I guess they were going after Cavani hard.
Really?
And I think Cavani's going to Portugal now instead.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Which is crazy, though, because I think he wanted $12 million net. So, like, after everything, $12 million a year. And he's only getting $10 million before taxes in Portugal. So, I think he just didn't want to go to MLS.
But why Portugal? I mean, I know there's a few big clubs there, but I don't know. Seems like a strange one.
He's used to being in Europe.
One more thing on MLS. So this is dumb. Like you said, they're going to be starting to play games now in their home markets. Teams go back to their home markets. but the Canadian teams can't go to the U.S., so you're going to have Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver just playing each other over and over again for a while.
Yeah.
That's idiotic.
The
That's
whole thing
stupid.
is idiotic.
The whole thing. And then Nashville and Dallas, who got kicked out of the tournament because of COVID tests, came positive. They're way behind on games, so they're going to keep playing each other.
Yeah.
This is dumb. They're going to play like 2 games in Nashville, 1 in Dallas, something like that, to catch up. Okay. We'll get to more about that later. I didn't hear any Fudos. There was only one that was kind of embarrassing for me. It wasn't really a Fudo. But, in your spelling bee contest, I asked you to spell Zlatan, and I can't even say Zlatan's last name. I kept saying Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic. It was terrible. I'm just going to say Zlatan from now on.
I'm going to say that's why I spelled it wrong, because you were saying
I put a
wrong.
W in there? Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Okay, that was terrible. All right, that's all I got for you, brother.
That's it.
All right, Eric Neal, it's Get Off My Lawn time. I'm going to rename it. It's Get Off My Lawn, Andrew Wells.
No.
Wellsy.
Come on.
I know he's your boy. I know he's your fellow Geordie. He's the Toon Man. He's the But I want to say he's been listening to you way too much. You're Liverpool bashing. He's listening. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. You'll find anyway some abstract point way over here that has nothing to do with Liverpool. Somehow you will bring Liverpool into the conversation.
Yep.
So Andrew Wells, I want to remind you, last week during his report, nothing about Liverpool. It's about Newcastle, by the way. But Andrew Wells says, okay, we have 60,000 signed in this petition. Right? Okay, I'm like, oh, wow, this is interesting. Then he goes on to say, that's more people than Liverpool has in their grounds.
Yeah.
Why was that necessary? Why do you bring Liverpool into this?
In fairness to Wellesley, he said that's more people than they can fit in St. James's earlier in the week on Twitter. Like, he kept going stadiums.
That's fine.
Bigger. As it got bigger, he just got to your stadium.
No. I heard a snicker. I heard a snicker. If you listen closely enough, it was a little jab at me. I'm telling you.
I think you're paranoid.
No. Somehow he has brought Liverpool into the conversation when he didn't need to go there. It's a Liverpool-Newcastle show. He should have brought up there more than Chelsea then, or something else. It was a dig, and Wellesley, you're still welcome on the show, but you're not welcome on my lawn.
I think you're getting tight for no reason on that one. That's too much. All right, my Gomel this week goes to that dirt hole rag, the Sun newspaper. You'll know the Sun from such hits as the Liverpool people caused their own deaths. The 96 that died and other trash and horrible libelous things that they say all the time. But what they did this time was the Sun came out with this headline. It said, Aces Dash. Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi plays Sunday league game just 12 hours after Bayern Munich match, but still loses 5-3. So it seems like, he went home after the Champions League where they got thrashed by Bayern, and he just went to play some random pickup game, and he lost again, Like, okay, it sounds funny, all right, that's fine.
Not quite the facts, huh?
What you don't really know is that he went to do it to raise awareness for knife crimes. It was like a charity event. And so it wasn't being competitive. He showed up to actually help out a serious good cause, and then they're slating him like that in the newspaper.
That's poor.
They're just total dirt scumbags. And the thing is, everybody knows it. Anytime they do a post, everybody just trashes them left and right. So just for being the yellow journalism scumbags that you are, Sun newspaper, get off my lawn.
All right, Eric, we talked a lot about MLS stuff at the beginning of the show, so I'm going to ask you something here. It's kind of a Liverpool-type question, but it's about the Crew. So you've talked about Asterix FC, the Liverpool, the season should have an asterisk, all that. If the Crew win the MLS Cup, is there an asterisk? Is this a legitimate season? They're going to play 28 games, dumb tournament. It's got an asterisk. Okay.
It has to have an asterisk.
Well, what about in 5 years? Have we won 2 cups? Like we won in 2008, and then we win now.
I mean, you stick the star on the jersey over the badge, but
which costs us another $100 probably.
I wouldn't celebrate it as a supporter. Look, anytime if the Crew wins something, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to celebrate it. But as a Crew supporter, in my mind, it's not the same as when we won it last time.
But if they play all the games, it'll be 28 games compared to like 34. It's only 6 games less.
They're broken up. They're split apart in time. There's a tournament that like some teams didn't even participate in. Like, how could you possibly do that? Some stadiums will have supporters in them. Some stadiums won't. Like, how could you even call that anything but an asterisk? Look, I want the Crew to win it. I'll still like be rooting for them to win it and hope that they do. Like I said, stick the star in the jersey, but it has to be an asterisk. There's nothing normal about any of this. Until we get back to a regular – I'm talking about all sports, not just blasting Liverpool in the Premier League or any of the Champions League being in August or any of this other stuff. Until we get back to a season that starts on the regular day that it was supposed to start and has no restrictions with fans and goes the whole way through the schedule with no interruptions, until then, we don't have any real actual winners of any of this stuff.
So what about next year for the Premier League? Won't start on time. If
the Premier League doesn't start on time next year and have a full
next year, not this year. What about this year, though?
If they come back this year starting a little bit late and all the teams start at the same time, and they get all the games in and supporters are in the stands and the rules are the same. They get rid of the stupid drinks break and they block the 5 subs. I don't know if you heard that or not, but all the big teams actually wanted it, but enough of the small teams got together and said, we don't want it, and blocked the 5 subs for this upcoming season.
So it's going back to 3?
Going back to 3.
Okay.
But unless they do it, this season will also be tainted. It's really not exactly the same. Now, look, if they get fans in the stands at full capacity and they play all the games, it's pretty much fine. But I'm telling you, I don't even think this upcoming season is going to be 100% the way we think it is. I think it'll go back to no fan supporters again, even if they do get them in, because we're about to have the flu season, all this other stuff pop up. I just think we're not even close to being out of the woods on the
You're such a downer. You're such a downer, man.
It is what it is, man.
I know, it is what it is.
You got to live in reality here. So, but until we have, in any sport, I'm not counting this for just football. Until you have it back the way it was before, you don't have a non-asterisk season.
Yeah. Unless I tend to agree with
the Premier League, and then it totally counts.
No, this MLS. But the thing is, MLS is so Mickey Mouse, and it's so different from other leagues. In a weird way, I'm kind of like, it's just as legit as any other year. I mean, it's so they come up with the wackiest thing.
It's very MLS, yes, but
that's what I mean. Like one year it's a knockout. You have a home and away series, then you get rid of it. Back in the day, they used to have like penalty shootouts where you like started at the midway line and dribbled in and shot. And it's a wacky league. But
it's a circus.
What do you got for me, man?
All right, I got a little quiz for you.
Oh, no. Is it spelling related?
No spelling.
Okay.
Would you like to take a crack at the top 10 winningest teams in the FA Cup? Now, I'm not going for order or who, how
many they've won? We're not like how many cups they've won?
How many FA Cups the teams have won. So I'm going to give you the first one's a slam dunk. You would have heard it because they just won it this year. Arsenal's got 14.
Yeah, I was going to guess Arsenal.
Yeah. All right. So who do you think is next with 12?
Manchester United.
Good. All right. How about next with there's 2 teams tied with 8.
That's 3 and 4?
Yeah.
I would assume Liverpool.
Nope.
No. Chelsea.
Yes.
Okay. Liverpool's not up there with 8? Well, we don't care about those little trophies. Wow. Is it somebody in the Premier League now?
Yep.
Spurs.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
All right.
5th.
Now the tied with 7, right below them, there's 2 teams.
Are they in the Premier League, both of them now?
Yep.
Oh, it's got to be.
Hey, one was around the top, one was around the bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
Man City?
No.
Oh no.
You just said it. I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, Liverpool. Sorry.
Yeah, come on, Liverpool. Who's the one at the bottom? Who barely survived the
Aston Villa.
Yep. All right. Now,
Okay.
2 teams, or actually 3 teams, tied with 6. One of them is not in the Premier League anymore. 2 still are.
Leeds.
No.
What the hell?
Yeah, I think
Nottingham Forest.
who's won
Nottingham
some
Forest.
recently? Who's won now? Who's won some recently?
I don't remember. Chelsea.
You already said Chelsea.
I did,
City is one. Blackburn Rovers is one.
Blackburn Rovers.
You'll never guess the next one.
Premier League or no?
Yep.
Oh, I know. Everton.
No.
Newcastle?
Newcastle. 6.
The
6
last
FA
one was in the
Cups.
1950s, right? 1950 something?
Yeah, 52, I think.
So you won a lot before the 1950s.
Oh, yeah. Powerhouse, man. Look, I used to always call you disco era powerhouse, right? What is it back
Pre-World
then?
War II.
I think it was polka era powerhouse. All right. So
Your
anyway,
pre-Korean War dominance.
come last one, number 10, with 5 FA Cups. Who
Okay,
is it?
5.
You mentioned them earlier.
Are they in the Premier? Everton.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Wow, I really wanted to do that mostly just to get something great about Newcastle in there. I saw it. And
So
I was
how many have you won? 6, 7?
6.
And Liverpool's
6.
won
You
7.
have 7. Liverpool have 7. We've got
That's
6.
about as close as you're going to get to anything near
If
us.
we catch you, if we can win an FA Cup and catch you on 7, I would never let you hear the end of it.
You drop the mic. I'll drop the mic now.
All right, drop it.
Bellend Award time, Eric Neal. I think this guy might have won it one time before. Zinedane Zidane, Zuzu, has won it for me. You know why?
Tell me.
So we know the history between him and Gareth Bale, right? Not good.
Yep.
Not good at all.
No.
They actually, I think they hate each other. I always thought, from all the quotes, he doesn't play him. He wants him out of the team. He comes back. He's in the team, out of the team. There's golf issues with Bale, and they're both at fault. Like Zidane and Bale are both at fault, right? But there's no love loss here, right?
No.
All of a sudden, get this, Gareth Bale was left out of Real Madrid's squad for their Champions League clash with Man City because, in quotes, he preferred not to play. Coach Zinedane Zidane said, okay, you would assume he'd go ballistic on him, right? No, Zidane says, we have a relationship of respect between coach and player. That's clear, he says. It's a personal conversation. The only thing I could say is Bale preferred not to play. The rest is between him and I, right? Okay. Then he goes on to say, I respect Gareth a lot. Bullshit.
No.
Things have to stay inside the dressing room between player and coach. Gareth Bale is a Real Madrid player, and I respect that. He preferred not to play. That's the only thing I can tell you. What the hell? What kind of quotes are those?
That is the
funniest
thing ever. You're an English major, right?
No, I ain't.
Did you ever read Bartleby the Scrivener?
I've heard, yes.
Okay.
No, I have not.
I want to say it was the Moby Dick guy that wrote it, right?
Herman Melville?
I can't remember. Great story. Great story about people that worked in a print shop back in the day, right? Or well, before they even had print shop, the Scriveners were people that copied down things. So if you wanted a book, someone had to hand copy it.
Back when Newcastle was winning FA Cups.
Back when Newcastle was winning FA Cups, right? So the short story, the guy, he goes, and the boss comes up and is like, I need you to do this. And he's like, I prefer not to. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I prefer not to. And he's like, you prefer not or you will not? And he's like, I prefer not to. And then the whole thing, his boss ends up going insane. I forget if he kills him or does something. But the whole time, no matter what he told him, the guy would just be like, I prefer not to. It's Gareth Bale, the Scrivener. I'm telling you, it's beautiful.
What is Zinedane Zidane doing? I mean, he went for broke. He never held back, ever. He was like, basically just short of Bale's a prick.
I think he doesn't want to give Bale the pleasure of him sticking it to him again, so he's like making up a lie about him or something. But Bale just laughs. He's like, oh, wait, is that another £500,000 I just got in my bank account? Oh, okay. He doesn't give a shit.
Does Bale get taken anywhere with this wage bill? I mean, would anybody take a chance on him now?
How? It'd have to be Chinese super club.
And he's a malcontent. He comes across as aloof. I don't know. So, Zinedine Zidane, you are my Ballon d'Or winner. And I have a feeling this guy's going to show up again. I really do.
Look, he's on the prowl for the Ballon d'Or. I love it. All right, this week's Ballon d'Or winner for me is Arsenal Football Club.
Oh.
So I don't know if you remember way back to the shutdown happening, but Arsenal asked its players to take a pay cut so they wouldn't have to lay off any of their employees.
Yes, like 12%. Yeah.
You know, very, very nice, noble thing to do. Now, most of them did it, except for that fucking coward and wage thief Mesut Ozil. But most of them did it, okay? The poor little London outfit, though, owned by rich billionaire bastard Stan Kroenke, by the way, just announced that they are going ahead and laying off those employees that the players took wage cuts for.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, the cheap-ass owner is worth $8.3 billion and could probably afford to pay them with or without the players taking a pay cut. But that's not all. That's not purely the reason that I'm calling them Stan Kroenke a Bellin this week.
Yeah.
Arsenal, if you know, just signed 33-year-old Willian to a 3-year deal that will pay him £120,000 a week. So do you have the money or not? Okay, this is Mike Ashley level shameful.
It is.
It is just ridiculous.
With money.
The players rightfully want some answers, because if I gave up my damn money so you didn't lay people off and went, haha, just kidding, and laid them off anyway, and then bought this guy on a 3-year deal who's 33 years old, I think I'd be a little bit pissed off and want some answers. Wouldn't hold my breath for getting any answers out of Stan Kroenke.
Well, he's known as Silent Stan, isn't he? That's his nickname.
Yeah. Dirty bastard Stan. So for being a cheap-ass rich guy and screwing over your employees, Stan Kroenke, you are my Ballon d'Or winner.
You fucking bellend.
All right, it's time for this week's Twitter shout-outs. As always, thank you to Pillar of the Community, my man on the streets of Newcastle, Andrew Wells. Don't listen to Dave, Wellsy. You can go on his lawn if you want.
Wellsy! Leave me alone!
His lawn. I don't care. He's at Wellsy95NUFC. Also, a giant thanks to @RealUSMNT. This account posts everything you need to know about the U.S. men's national team, and they've been retweeting for us every week. We really appreciate that. Marcus O'Malley, he's at Chasing a Cup. He's been tweeting us out too a lot. Thank you for that. Shoot the Defense podcast, they're at Shoot the Defense. The Ball Chat podcast, they're at Ball Chat 1. And the Bryant and Me podcast, they're at Bryant and Me. Thank you also for all the retweets. We do appreciate it. It really does help out. I just have a couple of funny tweets this week that stood out to me. So we have Chris, it's at Chris now, Don88. He said, yours wasn't the goal, it was the assist for the helicopter, right? So I think St. Maximin was up for the goal of the year, right?
Yeah.
And everything. St. Maximin, this is the tweet that I really want to promote, came back and said, if we win the trophy, I'll share it with them for the Pentacopter. Do you remember he scored that goal? And the guy in the stands did the Pentacopter.
Yes.
So yeah, St. Maximin was all about that. It was beautiful. He wants to share the trophy with the guy.
You love that guy.
Yeah. Troll Football had a great one. It says London is red and has a guy with the Spurs hat, Arsenal hat on. London is white, has a guy with the Spurs hat on. London is blue, guy with the Chelsea hat on. And then it says London is shite and it has a guy with the Bayern Munich hat on. Because apparently Bayern Munich's been handing out spankings to all these people.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Jamie, who is at Jamie Griff 97, put out this beautiful picture of this, like, I don't know if he's a chef, but pudgy-looking, bearded kind of guy. And it says Pirlo 2 months into the season when he realizes Ronaldo won't listen to him and he's not allowed to drop him.
It's good.
That was beautiful. And then also Pablo Iglesias Maurer, he's actual writer. I think he's at MLSist. He said, just found this touching shot that I took in 2015 in my Lightroom. It's Pirlo, and when he played for NYCFC, and he's staring at Mix Diskerud. It says, in it, Pirlo struggles to understand how he's ended up in the same midfield as Mix Diskerud. So that was a beauty. We had Pirlo heavy stuff in the pod today.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Sorry out, Pirlo in, man. What are you going to do?
Hey, by the way, that guy Jack Harrison, he played at New York City FC, and he went over to Man City, and they got transferred to Leeds.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be in the Premier League and playing. Like, he was really instrumental in Leeds getting to the Premier League. So I know he's not. I think he's English.
Yeah.
But he went to I think he went to college here in the States, and he played at New York City FC. So that's kind of cool guy we could watch, you know.
We'll claim part of it.
Well, yeah, no, he's somewhat American, whatever.
Yeah. Well, man, we did it again. Killed another hour and something.
Yeah, no, we wasted a lot of time, but Eric, I always like wasting time with you, brother. And we will do this again next week. Later, bro.
See you next week. Stay safe.
Yep, you too.
That's our show for this week. Please check us out on Twitter at @Rash_podcast, on Facebook at 2 Rash Challenges, or email us at 2rashchallenges@gmail.com. Also check out our website, 2rashchallenges.com, where you can find articles, videos, and photos. And if you like the show, tell a friend, and make sure you go to iTunes and give us a review. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, for Eric, our producer and engineer Ezra Jack Lewis, our main man on the streets Andrew Wells, and myself, we say cheers.